Hello, I'm Lindsay Stein, the consumer reporter at PRWeek, and I'm at the PRWeek conference joined by Adam Lisberg, the Director of External Communications of the MTA. Thank you for being with us today.
Nice to be here.
So, following Hurricane Sandy, which was a huge, devastating event across all tri-state area, but as the MTA, millions of people ride the MTA every day. So, how did you guys prepare for this event?
Yeah, we knew that our communication strategy was an outgrowth of the general hurricane planning strategy that parts of the MTA had been working on for years and had been refining for a long time. So we knew that we would have lots of calls coming in and lots of requests for just the basic information which we needed to provide. So we put our staff on 24-hour shifts, so there would always be someone there to answer the phone during the storm. And I remember walking around the night before the storm hit and seeing everybody in their offices and said, some of you need to get out of here because I want you rested and back here at 3 in the morning when the phones are still ringing, which they were. And it was really round-the-clock work for a couple of days after that.
And you mentioned dedicated staff at hotels? That's how...
Yeah, the MTA put people who were at headquarters, they had blocks of hotel rooms, and people rotated in and out of those. So they were able, and in large part because people couldn't get home. Once, especially for people who live outside of Manhattan, once you were in, you weren't getting anywhere for a while. That was the nature of the problem. So, of really good people who were up to the challenge. They knew what they'd be facing, and they already knew that the key to this is to keep talking, to get when the phone rings and it's the same question you've had 2 hours ago, you just keep answering. You can't duck down. And when things started going bad, we were very open about what was going on. We were tweeting out, this tunnel is filled with water, this service has stopped. And in doing so...
I was actually going to ask that. Social media is huge for you guys, so
it was.
Tell me a little bit about everything.
Sure, yeah, and we had a pretty robust social media presence before this. We were able to draw on, thank goodness, among other things. We had a backup Gmail account for the press office that we could use once our regular email service crapped out. We have a full-time video producer and a full-time staff photographer who everything they do goes up on YouTube and on Flickr and then gets tweeted out and posted to our Facebook page and posted to our website. So we had the infrastructure in place to handle this. Once things started going bad and once the recovery effort was going on, these guys who are certified to be able to work on tracks and they can go down in the yards and they know they're nuts and bolts people, they could get into places that normal news crews couldn't, that they could get raw video showing the extent of the flooding damage. We took surveillance video, in some cases, of water flooding into tunnels and just posted that on YouTube. Put it up there for the media to take, first and foremost, but for anyone at all to take. And some of these things went very viral on Twitter and on Facebook, that anyone could see the extent of the damage.
I saw a bunch of ones posted on Facebook that were taken.
Yeah, and the whole point of putting these out is to show the world this is what we're facing, and we're being honest with you about what happened to us. And we built up credibility when things were bad, and we were able to draw on that credibility as things started getting better. We weren't making promises that people couldn't believe because everything we had said up to that point had been true. So that kind of repeated presence, and just being in the arena, granted, the first way to tell a good story is to have a good story to tell. We had a very good recovery story because the people who actually do the work at the MTA, the people who don't carry Blackberries, they carry sledgehammers, they were doing incredible work and just sort of getting in there, and even though it was at times an imposition to say, hey guys, let a camera crew to go down when you're pumping a tunnel. Pull the head of the subway system out for 20 minutes so we can let somebody interview him. It's an imposition, but it's one that really furthered the goals of the agency, which was showing that we're on top of this thing, and we got out of it.
Putting a face to, situation definitely humanizes it a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do say they love and hate the MTA. I hear people complain about it all the time, but everyone rides it. And you don't want to be viewed as a utility, I'm sure. So how are you kind of working towards that?
Yeah, we have a lot of things in common with any electric utility or any other monopoly provider that people love to hate. That you have no choice whether you like the way the subway's running that morning or not. You still most likely are going to have to take us tomorrow. And so we've been trying, long before this storm, the MTA has been trying to change the reality and trying to change that image, trying to operate better and trying to let the world know that we actually do care about our customers, that we think of them as customers, not just as people who have to swipe through and have no other choice every day. And you can't learn that behavior in a crisis. You have to have that behavior baked into your organization when you start going into a crisis, and that's one of the reasons that you're able to come back and tell your customers how you're coming back, is that you think of them as customers who do have a choice. If you approach them as somebody who might be able to take that other transit system, then perhaps that's the way to treat them right.
Well, I'm glad the storm is over.
So are we.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today.
Sure, glad to do this.